Hello, everybody. How are you doing? Happy Thursday again. Well, I know this week this is my second show on HPMA Live because we missed the last week's show. And I have a fantastic guest today, and we have few more announcements. Those announcements are from HPMA, and it's some amazing announcements because you're going to see a new HPMA in next few years. So today, we are going to talk about our innovation workshop, which is coming on March 30th, 31st, 2022 in New Orleans. Last time in my announcement, I missed the location. So our workshop is a face-to-face workshop. It's coming in New Orleans. The hotel is Royal Sonesta Hotel. So I'm going to introduce our new executive director for HPMA, Brad Lund, whom most of you guys already know, and he's going to talk about our new conference and what I spoke about new HPMA, because his company, ISM Inc., is going to be the new management company for HPMA moving forward. So with this, Brad, my friend, welcome to the show, HPMA Live.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm sorry for the casual attire. I didn't realize I was going to be on today, or I'd have worn a suit. So we're here in Southern California, and we stay pretty casual. But Kunal, thanks for allowing me a few minutes to present the HPMA Innovation Workshop to your attendees today. HPMA has made a commitment to bring emerging innovations and technologies to the membership. In order to survive and thrive in the future, RCM providers must gain knowledge and embrace these emerging innovations of technology to achieve accuracy and efficiency. The workshop is being held, as Kunal said, at the Royal Sonesta Hotel in the heart of the French Quarter of New Orleans, and it begins March 30th. Our keynote presentation is being presented by two innovative thought leaders from Optum Healthcare Consulting Group, followed by 7 outstanding innovation topics over the 2-day workshop. Please register by Tuesday to receive the discounted registration rate. The hotel room block is filling up fast, so we hope you can block your room soon. Just as a footnote, the NCAA Final Four Championship starts on Saturday after our conference is over. So if you want to stay on and see some great basketball, you can do that. So I look forward to seeing you in New Orleans. Thank you so much for having me.
Wow, that's great. How many people are we expecting, Brad, and how many registrations we have so far? Because a lot of our members who are watching and our vendors who are watching, they want to feel very excited about it. They should know what they are going to.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, we designed this workshop around 75 attendees and 8 exhibitors. We have the 8 exhibitors. Right now we have I think we have 48 registrations, so there's still some seats available.
All right, perfect. No, I am equally excited, and now with this, I'm going to introduce one of our extremely good friend of mine, and we are very excited to bring him on board as our guest because we will be talking about healthcare innovation and healthcare conversation about the startup. This is a brand new startup which is focused on health tech, and especially not only health tech, but in a healthcare credentialing field, which is very, very, it's getting very innovative these days. Most of us who have heard about CAQH, my friend, Mr. Saru Seshadri, who is going to be on the show, he would be talking about something similar to that. But I want you guys to listen about his new platform and his new innovation. So with this, I invite Saru Seshadri to the show. Welcome, Saru, for HPMA Live.
Hi, Kunal. Thank you very much. Thank you to you and the entire HPMA community and the board for sponsoring these types of events and also the innovation workshop. I'm very happy to see that you guys are fostering innovation and entrepreneurship. So.
No, absolutely. This is one of our, key agenda about this workshop we are coming up, and we wanted to interview those people who have really excelled the art of making startups successful. And I know you have been a serial entrepreneur. I know you for the last 10 years. One of the things which always comes to my mind, and actually it came this morning, when you were talking about in healthcare, because I know I'm not going to ask about your resume, but I know you have helped multiple, experience when it comes to healthcare.
Right.
So how did you come up with this prognosis of this idea? Where does it originate from? Because sometimes you feel, oh, I have a set customer base.
Right.
Let's say we are in a physician, most of our billing companies, they're in physicians. So let's do something only in that space because we feel very comfortable.
Right.
But sometimes you come up with some innovative idea. So it's always like this kind of situation. What's your prognosis on this? What came to you first?
Well, it's an excellent question. It's a very interesting one as well, because as an entrepreneur, you're also trying to create a viable business, right? So you kind of try and see what is a viable business as well. But this one is an interesting journey for me. I mean, you know me, I've been working in the IT industry for quite a long time. With healthcare payers is one of my largest segment over the last 2 decades or so in multiple companies. This is my third official startup. And although Constellation 4 is not technically a startup because we're about 18 months old now and with good traction. But I would say this one is interesting because problem or customer happen together. But I would say one of the key things I look for is it a problem or a symptom?
Oh,
right?
That's a good one. Yes.
So normally is what we start doing is we start chasing symptoms. And the symptom actually does not manifest itself without some of those root causes.
Correct.
So it's kind of like pulling on a string, and you have to find out what is at the end of the string. So I've been aware of some of these challenges in the provider data management and the combination of the payers and providers and the payer-provider collaboration. I've built many systems and solutions to very large customers. But when I started looking at this particular symptom, the symptom manifested as it's a data quality problem, right? But this time,
tell me, what was the symptom?
The symptom actually was one of our good friends and customers came to us and said that we're not able to keep the provider data quality clean, and the provider directories are messed up, provider network directories are messed up,
right.
And CMS also published in 2018 an audit of the MA plans, so about 100 plans, and only about 2 of them were in compliance with respect to provider directory quality, and some staggering numbers, like 52% of the provider directories had deficiencies, and many of them so bad that they even got warning letters and compliance letters, right? So yeah, we can do some things around data quality. In fact, we started building a platform around data and data quality, and that's actually getting good traction.
Yeah.
But then when you peel back the onion and start pulling on that string, and then evaluating really what's happening between the payers and providers, and past some of the systemic issues and the compliance and the regulatory and programmatic things like volume to value and payment models and things like that. I fundamentally saw that the basic tenets of a relationship between payers and providers and the technologies to power them have been chronically
underinvested. How much time did it take you from that particular that moment to come up with something substantial?
So I would say it took us about 12 months. Okay, and that also keep in mind
that was a whole discovery process.
Yeah, and keep in mind that it also is building on top of the last 10 years of experience we've had in these types of things, right? It's not just
that 10 years of experience helped you in probably shorten the discovery process, because you could connect the dots much easier than anybody else who would come.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the aha moment was also, what can we do to kind of reimagine this? And while we don't want to solve the laws and regulation and the issues thereof, as a technologist and as an entrepreneur, what can we bring to the table was the key question. So we tactically solved some of the symptoms, because obviously we need to get to the market and get to the customer and convince the customer. But we always were going after what is the actual root cause, and that's what led to some of even the name Constellation came, because we said, okay, new constellations have to be formed here, And that's how the name Constellation 4 came up. And we definitely see an opportunity to reinvent and re-engage in some of these discussions. And the journey also, we have to kind of take into consideration where the industry is and where we are and where the technologies are. But then we are able to now create a blueprint for the future.
So, and when did you find your first customer after, and when was the product ready? Like in 2 years, or what was the journey for that?
So again, the product roadmap is continuously evolved during this 12 months. And fortunately for us, we had a small dental and vision plan who kind of believed in us and came on board with our limited capabilities. Within about 3-4 months of us kind of coming up with this concept and coming with a beta product. So they started with that small product first, and then that grew into a broader vision, and we were able to execute on that vision with this particular customer as well. So
simplify that to me and because most of the community who's listening this, they are going to be billers. They know this space very well, practice managers. Simplify this to if there is an existing innovation, like you mentioned, CAQH or anything else, which we can connect with. What's the solution? What's the solution you have developed? Simplify it.
Yeah, it's interesting because I also want to make sure that we are making relevant for your community, right? So our insight is coming from what happens inside the payers in handling the provider claims and how the provider claims are adjudicated and paid and resolved and things like that.
Right.
So a lot of the symptoms that you as billers and your clients as providers face is that some of the early on things that need to be done in the industry, it's called provider network management. So the simple thesis is that provider network management needs a reboot.
Right.
Okay. In the way payers are handling provider network management.
So most of them are using CAQH or let's say PCOS in the Medicare case, or so there is a system which exists.
Yeah. So CAQH or otherwise, there are companies like Zealous, which provides Network 360 data and things like that. The challenge is not just in the clean data. The challenge is in how what I call as the initial contact to contract, which includes the credentialing process, and then subsequently network maintenance in the utilization management platform and claims adjudication platform, that is not getting addressed properly by the payers, the payer side. On the other side, the payers also need, for example, certain things to be done to keep the value-based care delivered properly as well. So we looked at provider network management in a different way. Can we reimagine what provider network management should be, and what kind of data can be used to power those workflows? So I don't want to just see this as a data problem. Data is one of the root causes, but data quality also suffers because the current provider network management systems don't handle it end to end. They're built in silos, they're fragmented. So that's what they're reimagining. Provider network management powered by clean data on the health plan side. On the other side, we're also looking at, especially for like managed care plans that want to have HEDIS compliance and HEDIS star ratings kept up. How can the data then generate leads as the new patients and help providers acquire new patients? And what are the synergies between the solutions we're doing in network management that can help on the provider side? So let me
ask you this. So this all of this discovery process, right? It took you, let's say, 3 months, 4 months, 6 months. There is a word in our thing, we call it patience.
Yeah.
At any point of time during this 1 year, 2 year period of time, did you ever lose that patient? And what was the reaction, and who helped you? Because we lose our control, we lose our patience all the time when you are in that kind of mode. And it happens with me a lot because you want to achieve faster than what it is designed. And sometimes things take time, sometimes things, you work with your software developers, you work with your team. Yeah. How did you cope up with this patience as a entrepreneur?
Well, certainly you have a little bit more gray in my head now, right? So I'm not a first-time entrepreneur. So This is like I said, this is my third organization that I've started building. Right. So definitely the approach is slightly different. And then if you focus on the mission, right? So when we started looking at the end-to-end problems, what we are seeing is that the conversation needs to be a much broader conversation. So if you look at the frictions that are happening between the payers and providers, there is a definitive impact on the patient side and the patient outcomes. At the worst case, some extra billing and the No Surprises Act are all leading up to that type of these things. So our mission we set up was we want to build Constellation 4 for the long haul. So patients was kind of built into our mission statement. So the key focal area is solving the payer-provider friction and reimagining the collaboration model. That's the mission we set ourselves up to be. And then we know that we can't just have the end state vision discussion with the current market conditions and the current investments that the payers and the providers have made. So there's a journey to get there, right? So we always set it up for the journey. So we are incrementally releasing our blueprint, incrementally delivering our products, making sure that we are contextually relevant right now for the customer, and then slowly evolving their thinking as well. So that's come by way of, let's say, the last 2 companies that I've gone through that impatience model. Yeah. So that's what has been built into Constellation 4, and I have a great team.
Patience. So that's my another question coming out. But tell me about your team, because that's one of the bigger issue or bigger challenge most startups feel, that how to find a team which can understand your vision, which can understand the mission behind the whole journey. And it can be a make or break situation to find good people, because sometimes you can't afford them, sometimes they can't afford you. So it's both ways. Yeah. How did you solve that issue?
It's not easy, and I wouldn't say I've solved it. We still need to do a lot of things better and correct. And also, you have to keep in mind that we officially launched the company in April 2020, right when COVID hit. Right. So we had to do this now 100% remote, and with extremely difficult quarantine rules and things like that. And I myself had COVID last year. So we have to kind of reinvent ourselves through this process. So it's not easy, but you bring in people who can believe in the mission, and they're also in it for the long haul. So I had some key guys who took that leap of faith initially. So core about 5 people who took that leap of faith, worked with us. And I also want to importantly mention my first customer partners. I call them as customer partners, who kind of said, okay, we know where you're trying to take it. We kind of understand it, but here are certain things you solve for us. So recruiting not our team, but also working with the right customer partners is also important for this type of a journey to evolve. So I would say we were very blessed and fortunate to have that.
So the good ideas, they bring good solutions, and the good solution brings good team. Right. And then you basically develop a trust in your first partner. You said in your first
customer partner. Yeah. So,
right. So I recently saw the news. You are coming out of stealth mode.
Right.
For a lot of these people and the startups, I know they understand what the stealth mode is, but what was the idea behind that? What exactly you wanted to show to the world? What does that mean for you? Is it a minimum viability of the product, MVP, you are taking a next stage? Or...
Yes, it ties back to your first question, right? So it is, are we solving a symptom, or are we solving a problem, or are we kind of reimagining things? Right. So that first 12 months, literally, even in the first day in talking to some of our advisors and mentors, we knew we were onto something. But we took that 12 to 16 months to kind of evaluate and do product market fit. As you may recall, I have a product management background and product strategy background.
Right. No, that came easy to you. So because of your background. So
so exactly. It's important to kind of get that fit done. Right. And because of my background, I was able to bootstrap the company as well. So we really wanted to take our time to get our bearing, and even our newsletter is now named North Star. So we want to get our North Star honed in right. So that's why we kept it stealth, because there's no point coming out and saying something that you're doing something and not really kind of figure out in the long run that is changing. You know how many companies pivot after they create the first product and things like that. So I really wanted to see what is the end state that we want to go to. Can we get to that end state? Can we define that vision? Can we have that vision validated by a few customer partners? And then can we build up some significant critical mass of that vision that we can articulate to the market? So that's why we kept it under stealth. And then also, frankly, we wanted to build out some components of the team as well, because to tell the story is also important, right? So telling the story takes a different type of style than actually implementing the story. So to tell the story, you need to get your act straight. So that's what we were doing for the last 18 months. And then we felt the timing was right. Yeah, we felt the timing was right.
So if you're coming out of stealth mode and you have a marketing machine now kicking in, is it safe to assume that you have a full financial reimbursement model for next few years, which will make the company self-sustainable for institutional capital?
Well, in business, nothing is guaranteed, right?
Right. So how confident you are? What do you think about the reimbursement model? Because any healthcare startup, reimbursement model is the key.
Yes.
And if you're not able to figure that out, how much it is going to cost, and how much is my cost, and how much it is going to cost to our customers. So Is it fixed or it's more consulting basis? How did you determine your financial model?
Yeah, no, that is part of that exploration over the last 12 to 18 months as well. What is the business model that we can go after, and how do we adapt to the current needs of the customer and the current purchasing behaviors of the customer, right? You can't just go in and say, buy this, because their existing business model will not support that.
Right.
So that was part of the discovery as well, right? As a product strategist, you have to do the discovery. So that the reimbursement models are tied back to, on the solution that is payer facing, we are immediately driving efficiencies and improving their total cost to build better networks.
For physicians.
For physician side, we have an offering that does referral coordination built on the same platform.
But who is paying right now for yours? Payers mostly.
So we have two offerings. One that's targeted to the payers, that is the provider network management side. And this is not fully released yet. We have also developed something for referral coordination. We are in the early stages of that, built on the same platform that the providers will be paying. Okay.
Perfect.
So those are the two models.
That will streamline provider side referral management process. Okay.
Exactly. So on the provider network management side, the payer is the customer, and there's two specific business models that we have now. One is data as a subscription, where they subscribe to our data platform, for which they'll get the data, as well as they can do a lot of analytics on the data for building the network better. Mm-hmm. And then what we also see is that even if you give them clean data, they struggle to keep the data quality well inside their four walls. So we offer health data analytics and data science as a service offering today, because every payer has multiple systems, different systems, and they struggle to keep a single system of truth for provider network inside the four walls. So that we offer as a consulting services, because we really have to assess. But even that model we've streamlined by building accelerators that they can use as inspiration on top of their existing data, and we're able to quickly realize business value and give them immediate toolkits to improve the provider network quality inside the four walls. That is services.
This is so interesting. You talked about clearinghouse and payers. The key note we have, master keynote, and Brad was telling about it. We have Optum, right? We have Optum, Brad, who's coming on our workshop, and who else? We have a couple of payers who are presenting. Brad, you want to talk about it a little bit?
Yeah, that'll be good.
Focus at the payer side.
Kunal, I don't have the program.
So we have an Optum guy, right? You mentioned about the Optum chief strategist who is coming.
Right. There's the Optum Consulting Group. They have. We were lucky to get two of their thought leaders, and if you go on our website and look at the lineup of presentation, it has a very detailed description of what they're going to be covering in terms of innovation. It's kind of like the Wayne Gretzky idea about he skates to where the puck is going to be, and that's what they're going to talk about.
Right. So this provider network management is where the puck is going to be in reimagining the provider network management. And we partner with Salesforce to deliver that network management function on top of our data. And it's not just Salesforce CRM, it's the Salesforce Health Cloud and some of their newer innovations around Health Cloud offerings. That's what we play with. And we've built complete solutions for recruiting, through contracting, through credentialing, that we then automate with this data as well. Now, again, we are continuously progressing these solutions. So that's
right.
Yeah, exactly. And then on the referral coordination side, we can take data analytics that's coming out of things like HEDIS.
How do you see a group of billing companies, billers, practice managers? How can we help? How can a group like HPMA help? And this would be my last question. We have 25
Excellent.
minutes.
Excellent.
What can we do to help?
First of all, thank you for the offer. A couple of quick thoughts that come to my head is that the relationship needs to be reimagined, and I think your members can be a key contributor, because many of the things that you suffer from, the data quality and the relationship management that we are identifying, you are impacted by it.
Yes.
Directly, because you sit on the phone calls and the other things with respect to insurance companies.
My last conversation with Gotham, one of our actually members, and I know him for a long time. He came up with some idea after 10 years of working as a biller.
Right.
And he was presenting last time, and he was showing up what his company, White Space Technologies, do. So no, I mean, I see HPMA and a medical billing community is a huge source of innovation.
Correct.
Because ideas come from the service, right? What you do on an everyday basis and operations and all of those things. So I agree.
I would love an opportunity to talk to your key stakeholders and show them what we are thinking of the new reimagine the flow should be. And absolutely, we would love to take your input.
We'll invite you to speak on our next conference then. I think we got a new keynote speaker for our next conference. Well, thank you very much. This is a fantastic conversation we had. I hope our startups will walk away with some good advice. They will learn something new with this conversation. I wish you all the best, Saru, and thank you for your team. Richard has been fantastic addition to your team. Suhas has been fantastic addition to your team. So I'm so glad, and everything is working as per your understanding and as per your idea. So thank you very much.
Thank you for the opportunity, and wish you well as well. Thank you for your support.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you so much. Well, this was an HPMA show, and I would add my good friend Brad. Brad, would you like to make final announcement about the workshop before we close out this final thing, and whatever you want to say? Because moving forward, this is our platform live to interact with our members, and a lot of our members are actually out of country as well. They would be seeing that, watching this.
Certainly. Well, as I said, this is our first shot at developing the resources to get access to innovation and the technology that goes along with it. We will follow that up. Our fall conference is currently being designed, and I think you found a potentially good speaker for us for the fall conference. And we have a lot more information coming out about that. But our commitment over the next year or two will be focusing in on helping our members understand the innovation and how to apply it to the technologies that they're using.
Fantastic. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. Look forward to see you in our next HPMA live show. Thank you.
Thanks, Kunal.
Thank you.